What's going on, everybody? LK here, back at it again with another video, and today I want to talk about some actually kind of advice for all fighting games. Of course I'm on Dragon Ball today, but what I'm about to talk about applies to pretty much every game. So if you're a Dragon Ball player, hopefully this will help you. If you're a Grand Blue player, hopefully this will help you. If you're a whatever player, hopefully this will help you. Now, when you get into like fighting games and start trying to improve for real, of course you're going to go seek people better than you for advice, and sometimes some of the advice you get might not make sense or even sound condescending, but you can actually get a lot from these tips if you really understand what the person is trying to say when they say it. So the first, and this is the first one I heard this 15 years ago in high school playing Super Smash Bros. Melee when I asked somebody for advice, and they told me, don't get hit, LOL. And I remember just thinking like, well, duh, of course not getting hit is good advice. Imagine not getting hit, you would just win every game, right? And that is actually the point. Every game technically has the same goal, where you just hit the other guy and try not to get hit as much as possible. You bring your opponent's life bar to 0, or you knock them off the stage, or whatever you do in that game before they do it to you. So this expands out to a lot of choices when you play. So take like Dragon Ball, for example, right? A really good sign of a good Dragon Ball player is how they move, because they move in a way where they don't expose themselves to risk so much, and the chances that they will get hit, even touched, so not hit like hit by a combo like this, but even just touch is very small. This is one of the things about super jumping, floating, and using movement very well. When you move very well like this, even the chance of getting touched in a way that will expose you to mix-up is low. So that's what I mean by extrapolating these really generic pieces of advice. In Dragon Ball, generally so far, we don't know so much about Season 3 yet, but being exposed to offense is pretty difficult to deal with. Even though the defensive tools are very strong, the offense is equally strong. Usually there's stuff like the strong level 3s and like Kid Buu and strong mix-up characters like that, and then also like Snap. So when you even get caught blocking at high level, there's a really high chance that that could be the game. A really good example is when I played at Frosty Faustings. So I played against a Piccolo in Winners Finals, a very good Piccolo, and one of the things I think about Piccolo is I can't even get caught blocking Piccolo. If I get caught blocking Piccolo, he has a chance of hitting me. If he hits me, it's very sad times. He's accessing his win condition. He's gonna snap loop me to death. This sucks. So I have to make sure I play in a way where not only am I not getting hit by him, but I'm not blocking block strings, and I'm not exposing myself to his best situation in neutral, which is generally trying to attack him air versus air, because we know he has the sword like that. So despite it being such a short and simple piece of advice, you can step back and be like, oh, of course it means not getting hit, but also in the games where offense is really extreme, not blocking, moving in a way where my chances of getting hit are very low, using tools that have generally low risk. If I'm taking a risk, I know what I'm doing. Like, you could extrapolate it and make it meaningful for you. So next is do mix-ups. And this is something I have told many people, just like don't get hit, it's like, duh, of course do mix-ups. Sometimes when people ask me personally for advice, I ask them, so do you want like advice, or do you want what I would tell myself in your case? Because I'm pretty harsh with myself. I'm very harsh with myself. I have high standards for my play. There are times where I'm just like, you know, okay, that was really dumb. That was really dumb. Why are you doing this? Why do you keep picking this? Or you told yourself not to do this, but you're still doing this. Why are you doing this? You know that doesn't work. That type of thing. When it's like a more beginner level player, because you know, I'm the type that tries to play everybody if possible. I like having a wide pool of players and skill levels to play, to try all my tactics, combos, mix-ups, blah blah. Usually when people are starting, I tell them they have to do mix-ups to hit me, and they're like, what do you mean? Like, of course I have to do mix-ups, but like, I'm doing mix-ups to you, right? I'm doing this, right? Like, I'm doing mix-ups to you, I'm doing this, I'm doing mix-ups to you. And I'm like, no. When I say do mix-ups, you have to do things that actually force me to guess, not things that I could practice against and defend against. Dragon Ball is a game that has a lot of things that are near reactable compared to other games, that if you practice against it, you can defend against it to a reasonable amount. Dragon Rush aside, things like same side super dash or like 6M assists are pretty comfortable, especially same side super dash. You could actually practice and block same side super dash like 80 to 90% of the time. It's a really good defense check to see what level their defense is at, but at high level, like, everyone can block this for the most part. You need to make sure you have stuff that actually is able to hit them and not like tricks or relying on the system too much to hit them. Now, in the case of 6M and also Dragon Rush, you can condition people to get hit by this, and there are ways to actually hit people with 6M as like a legitimate mix-up. The 6M you use with Dragon Rush in order to hit people, and you can use 6M as a check to see how they're teching Dragon Rush. For example, if a lot of people will tech with just a button like this, or they'll tech with Dragon Rush, and 6M will actually hit both. So if you set up a situation where you would Dragon Rush like this, you could instead do this and likely hit somebody. For example, let's say end of World Tour, right? A lot of people playing Bardock, a lot of people playing Kid Buu, a lot of people playing GT, and I know as a spectator or even like a player of the game, you might be like, oh, fuck this, it's so whack, I hate GT, I hate Kid Buu. But can you really blame them? So the game has a lot of stuff that's near reactable that you can practice against, so you can't really blame players for picking stuff that they know will definitely hit people, especially when there's so many examples of good, really solid defense when like Goichi or honestly any other high-level player. I personally got to the point where when I'm blocking characters like SSJ Goku or SSJ Vegeta and they don't have assist, I just sit there and I just wait and I wait and I wait until I see an opportunity for a guaranteed escape, and I get out because I know that pretty reliably I will not get hit by anything, rather than mashing and getting hit by this and taking like 70% for no reason. I really don't blame people for picking shells like that. Now, if you end up playing a character or combination of characters that don't have this type of offense, you can still rely on conditioning, but just know that it is, one, hard to do. It's the whole reason why I dropped Bardock. I was like, I don't feel like I can reliably condition someone in a 2 out of 3 at that level that fast. And two, just be okay if they defend your stuff, because again, higher level players will be able to generally, but not always, defend those things. The third and last one today is the channel classic. It is look at the screen. I used to give this as advice a lot back in like Melty days. I still tell people this, but I think people know more often what I mean now. And this is about using what the game tells you immediately against your opponent more. The fact that sparking is available, how much meter you have, do they have assists available, how much time is left on the clock. These little indicators help you out a lot and let you keep track of what's going on in game. Some people get too focused on just the two characters fighting each other. So a perfect example would be something like this. So I have SSJ Goku here with Team Gohan, right? So that means I have Super Dash, DP assist. Classic. So a really nice, simple example of this would be, I do Super Dash, call Gohan, but my opponent mashes anyway. This is not paying attention to my assist. I would get a combo of this, of course. This is not paying attention to my assist. I have said this many times in ranked matches. I'm like, oh, this guy's not paying attention to my assist. This is what I mean. If you're paying attention to all the stuff that's going on the screen, and you don't have to like constantly be looking around, but just once in a while when you have like a free second, like maybe when you're moving around the screen or like doing a IID back or like retreating or something, just quickly glance at like your whether or not you have assists available, what's going on. Sparking, I mean, is pretty easy to see and they only get one, so you don't have to constantly check your sparking, but just make sure you know what resources are available in-game, because that helps inform your choices. So one example of this in Dragon Ball would be paying attention to people who have full screen level 3s. Why? Because when you have a full screen level 3, you can't play the game the same. SSJ Goku has Ki Blast, of course, and Beam, and he has a full screen level 3, so when he does it, you can't really fire a beam. He could really, actually, level 3 through your beam, and now he knocks you down. Now he's going to be very plus, he's going to get an advantage. If he hits you again, he might kill you. Little things like that really matter. Okay, so hopefully that clears some stuff up. I have been given a couple of these advices, like I said before, and the last one specifically, I've told people many times. Advice like this definitely sounds condescending. I totally understand that, but when you actually parse out the full meaning of what that person is saying, it actually helps you out a lot. So being able to piece together that and put it together for yourself is equally powerful, because that means you really get it. Of course, I broke this down for y'all, but in the future, you never know, you might have the chance to talk to somebody like me, or maybe somebody, other top players in other games, and maybe once in a while they'll say something, maybe even unintentionally, and it might sound overly simplistic to you, but there is definitely deeper meaning behind it. So hopefully this helped. Like and subscribe if you feel like it. Leave any questions or comments in the comment section, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.